Do you want to know what the most significant piece of advice I ever received was? One that changed the entire trajectory of my life. And it came from a cashier in a health food store. I was standing there on my one good leg, I'll get to that, clutching these 2 herbal supplements that my research had told me would quell the buzzing anxiety that I was feeling in my chest. Now, I didn't want anyone to know I was suffering, for fear of what they would say or how they would judge me. But this woman at the till K, she saw the items, looked me directly in the eyes and said, "Remember that this is just a Band-Aid." Something in me stopped as I felt the truth of what she spoke. These were not going to heal my trauma or my physical disability. So let me catch you up. 6 months before, as I was backpacking abroad after taking a break from my television career, I was drugged and raped over a number of hours by 2 men and brought to the brink of death. Now I'm going to give you a moment to come back into your bodies, okay? And I hope that you can tell by my voice that I'm good. In fact, I'm grateful for the experience that cracked me open, because I wouldn't be here sharing this knowledge and wisdom I have gained today without that ruthless initiation. 2 months after the assault, I bent down to pick a strawberry. And when I stood up, my foot was dead. Now, naturally, as I assume many of you have experienced, I thought the sensation would return in a couple of minutes, right? Wrong. Okay, a couple of hours, overnight, a couple of days, the next week. You get the picture. This was my new reality. I had lost total function of my left foot, and I was numb from the knee down. Medical professionals were baffled. Now, back in Ireland, and my 30th birthday is coming up. And all I wanted to be was alone, away from everyone and everything, so I didn't have to pretend that I was doing okay. My therapist suggested I book myself into this Buddhist meditation center. Now, I had never meditated before, nor was I spiritual at this point, but I was open to trying anything. Here, they followed a routine schedule, practicing loving kindness meditation every day at 3 p.m., sending compassion to oneself and to others. On the 4th day here, I did one of the hardest things that I have ever had to do. While practicing loving kindness meditation, I sent love and forgiveness to the 2 men who had attacked me. And as I did so, my upper left leg twitched. And something in me took notice. This was the only part of my leg that I could feel. That was strange and coincidentally timed. The next day, at the very same point in the meditation, as I was sending these 2 men love, it happened again. My upper left leg twitched, and a single word dropped into my head: psychosomatic. Now, I had never heard of that word before that point. And this whole world of the mind-body connection opened to me. And as I searched online, I kept finding the same pattern. People developing real physical symptoms that no doctor could explain. And time after time, these symptoms only began to heal when they addressed the emotions that they had buried beneath them. Now look at this. These are the results from a clinical trial treating back pain, which is the world's leading cause of disability. And this is from a world-class teaching school affiliated with Harvard Medical School, the Beth Israel Deaconess Center. Now here we have 3 groups receiving care. The first group are those receiving conventional care, surgeries, medication. The second group are those practicing mindfulness-based stress reduction, faring better still. And the third group showing an overwhelming response to their treatment, with 64% being completely pain-free 6 months later. Now, what did they do differently? A large part of their care was education on the mind-body connection. And so introducing the possibility that their ailment could be psychosomatic. That while, yes, their symptoms are very real, as mine clearly were, the root cause is psychological. They also began processing their emotions, no longer repressing them, while also reshaping their thoughts. No medication, no surgeries. Now, it was clear from the medical examinations that I had no structural issues. I fit perfectly into this psychosomatic or psychophysiological candida profile. And I thought, well, if they could heal themselves through understanding it was the mind causing it, then maybe I could give it a try. So I decided that I was going to speak to the control center of my body, my brain. Because after all, my brain is the one in charge of all movements and sensations. For you, have you ever had your heart race before standing in front of an audience? Or your stomach churn before an important conversation? Yes? This is also your brain at work. So I locked myself into the dining room of my parents' home, the good room that never really gets used. And I spoke to the almighty brain aloud, moving through 4 steps as follows. I'm so angry with you. There's no reason why there should be anything wrong with my foot. I've been practicing yoga for years. This just makes no sense. So I let it all out. The fear, the frustration, the anger. And then I shift to, and thank you. Thank you for reminding me when I couldn't. Thank you for looking after me in the only way you knew how. I've been so distracted by my foot, I haven't even had to think of the greater emotional pain. And then I ask for what I want, gently but firmly. Brain, I want my foot back. I know deep down that there is nothing physically wrong with my foot. I know that you are hiding the emotions that I've buried there. And then I make a deal. Brain, if you give me my foot back, I promise I will deal with the emotions. I have no idea how. I have no idea where to start. But I promise I'll try. And that was it. I went to bed. The next morning, I woke up. I stood up. And my foot worked. For the first time in 4 months, I could walk. I was elated. I had done it. I had healed my foot. So maybe I don't have to deal with the emotions that I've buried beneath. I'm good, right? I'm in perfect working order once more. Except, a few days later, I went for my first big walk, about 5 kilometers, something that I used to do easily. Pain shot through my right leg, and it literally stopped me in my tracks. I had to phone my dad to collect me. My first thought, it's happening again. I was devastated and trying to figure it out until a second thought came that said, wait, no, my brain is checking in on me. And so I repeated the 4 steps and the pain vanished. Days later, I was writing when pain shot up my right arm. Now this time I was savvy. I went straight to my brain. Really? We're doing this again. And so I told it, thank you, brain, for checking in on me. I promise I will deal with the emotions. And just like that, the pain disappeared. And so it was on me to uphold that promise and commitment, because my brain had shown me again and again that it would remind me through the body, as it has continued to do so since then for any other irritants or disturbances that are outside of my conscious awareness. And so my journey to face what I had buried within began. And if you choose to undertake this path, here are a few pointers from my own journey to guide you on your way. 1, release. Find a somatic practice to work it out of your body. Talk therapy can only go so far. Yes, it is important to feel heard and supported, but it is your body that has lived through all of your experiences. 2, rewire. You will have to work hard on finding new, positive associations to triggers that pull you back into the past. You can do it. I was able to return to my solo travels with the renewed confidence, trust, and ease. 3, right now, build your awareness. Take up meditation and work on focusing your mind. I'm not talking about relaxing guided meditations. I'm talking about becoming aware of where your own thoughts are flowing and how to pull them back into the now moment where everything is okay. 4, rewrite your story. Stop comparing then and now. Yes, acknowledge what has happened. Yes, do the work on moving through it. But at a certain point, you will have to let it all go. There are other parts of you other than the part of you that is wounded or healing that needs your attention. And the fullness of life only comes when we embrace the whole. 5, remember, if I can do it, so can you. Healing didn't come from the outside in. Healing came from the inside out. When I finally heard what my body was saying. So what if the pain isn't the problem, but the portal? What if instead of asking, why is this happening to me? We started asking, what does my body want me to know? That one question changed my life. And maybe it can change yours too. Ramila Mahagwif, thank you.